Hello, and welcome to Horizon Zero Dawn. This is Jewelsmith, and this is my first playthrough of Horizon Zero Dawn. The previous 44 episodes can be seen on my YouTube channel. In the last episode, Aloy helped Itamen and the Dowager Queen Nasadi escape the Shadow Karja. Right here in Sunfall. We had headed to Sunfall for this quest, which is the next quest in the main storyline. Deep Secrets of the Earth. Aloy needs to explore the ancient ruins beneath the Citadel and unravel the unbelievable truth of Project Zero Dawn. I believe we're about 2/3 of the way through the main story. I have collected all of the Bannock artifacts, all of the ancient vessels, all of the metal flowers. I have one vantage point left. So all we really have to do from here on out, I think I've done most of the side quests. There may be another side quest here or there that pop up along the way, but I think I've done all of the side quests that I've come across and run all of the errands. I guess there's this Weapons of the Lodge thing in the Ancient Armory. I still don't have all of the power cells to do the Ancient Armory side quest yet. I only have one of the 3 I need to finish that, and I think the other 2 are as we go along doing the main story quests from here on out. So I still have 2 more to find. I can't just go and get them. I have to get them while I'm doing this main storyline. Cleared all the bandit camps, unlocked all the tall necks. I am skipping most of the hunting grounds and cauldrons and corrupted zones and tutorials. Just sticking with the main story from here on out. Thanks so much for being here. What else did we do last time? Oh right, I have new overrides. So I tried overriding a glint hawk. I had to fight a corrupted thunderjaw. That was part of the escape for Itamen and the Dowager Queen. Oh, and I finished putting together the last 2 sets of metal flowers. Yeah, I grabbed the last 2 metal flowers I needed to complete all the sets. Got all the reward boxes from Kudiv and opened all of my reward boxes. That's what we did last time. Now it's time to move forward. Let me hop over to the chat room. I have a new laptop, so we're gonna see if this works better than my old laptop. Hey, Barbarian King! How you doing? You did not expect to see me. Yeah, my husband's doing really well, thank you. He had surgery on Thursday, and it went so well. We thought it was going to be a much more complicated procedure, and so did the doctor. Well, the doctor wasn't sure. The doctor said there were a lot of things that could happen, and he just had to wait and see what happened after he got in there and really got a look at everything. We were kind of prepared for a long hospital stay. So I thought I was going to be away from the channel for a while, but things went really well. I mean, he still had back surgery. He's still recovering. It's still, you know, not a fun thing. He's in a lot of pain, taking some pain meds and doing a lot of resting. But we didn't have to spend more than a day in the hospital. He came home. He was home by Friday. And so here I am. I'm back to the channel. Back in the saddle again. Missed a few days. I normally would have streamed on Sunday and Monday. But, you know, that's alright. I was just really exhausted. You know, I was just really wiped out. It was kind of a stressful time. Even though everything went well, it was still kind of stressful. And, of course, you know, helping someone who's having a hard time walking around and doing things. You know, I haven't been sleeping real well the past few nights, and we also have these new neighbors that decided to move in upstairs at the same time that we were coming home. My husband was coming home from surgery. We got new neighbors, and they are apparently the Stomper family from East Thumpington, so they like playing midnight basketball games in their apartment. I don't know what's up with that, but it's been kind of noisy. Haven't gotten a lot of sleep the past few nights. But here I am. So I don't make any promises. We've got some serious work to do here with Aloy. And she'll probably die a lot. And I take all the blame for that. Hello, Maskies. How you doing? Yes, Purple Hughes. I see you in the chat room. Alright, well here we are, and the next step in this quest is we are supposed to go to the Grand Balcony. So that is where we're going to go. I could have fast traveled to right here, but I wasn't sure what was... I was in Meridian at the end of the last episode. I wasn't sure what was going to happen if I went straight to this campfire. I didn't want something to go crazy as soon as I started streaming. So let's go in, see what happens. Now we headed out here in the last episode, and then I got a couple episodes ago, and I got sidetracked by a quest to help a guy who the Shadow Karja consider a traitor. And now I guess he's working for the Sun King. And then after we helped him, we were asked to help Itaman and his mother escape. Does this guy have anything interesting? I think we already got his free sample box. I don't think he has any special weapons. Oh, he has a Tear Blaster. We were given a Tear Blaster. I think, I don't know, the gal who's the new head honcho at the hunting lodge gave us that, I think, a while back. So I have one, but I guess if you don't get it from the hunting lodge, you can buy it here. I don't know if I need anything else. I haven't used a Rattler at all. A Shadow Blast Sling, huh? I have a Shadow Sling. Does frost, zap, and fire. Blast Sling does, explosives. Can be modified. That actually looks pretty cool. What do I need? A Lance Horn Heart. Huh, maybe I should get one. Alright, but not right now. Let's get on with getting on.
Don't pass up these.
Go through here. These are the Goth Karja. The Shadow Karja. The Karja worship the sun. I guess these folks worship the shadows.
Our child Sun King whisked off. I'll bet he's eating well now.
Hey there, how you doing?
So, man's back.
Whoa, he just smacked her in the face.
One of us got to go home.
Alright, up to the balcony.
What are you waiting around for, Outlander?
Starving was bad enough.
Bounties are announced
But
inside.
at least we had our Sun King to guide
Yeah,
us.
I already went up here and heard the bounties. And we killed the High Priest, so I don't think he's
Eyes
going to
down,
be
Outlander.
announcing any bounties anytime soon.
Thinking of Edom and Meridian. It makes me homesick.
This is insane.
Hardly.
They're going to see me.
You underestimate the ease of hiding in plain sight.
Okay, climb down. Excuse me?
The balustrade. It's a short drop from there.
The balustrade. What the hell is he talking about? Excuse me, pardon me. I'm trying to get to your balustrade, sir. It looks like I'm supposed to go over there. Okay. I have no idea why I'm out here or what I'm supposed to be doing. Am I supposed to drop down there?
Tread lightly, Outlander. I'm good at remembering faces.
That voice still sounds familiar, and I don't know who it is. Oh, I can't go this way. Okay.
The next... It's like some horrible dream.
Can I go through here? Nope, apparently not. Anybody have any clue what a balustrade is? And how I get there?
How do we expect to win a war?
Right here? Oh, right here, I think. Okay, got it. Got it. I guess we're gonna climb down there. Don't mind me. Nobody sees me. Alright, here we go. Climby, climby.
Other side of the tower. Look for a vent.
Look for a vent. Right here?
I see you've been here before.
Obviously. Now, it's very important that you hear what I'm about to say.
La 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 la.
I've shown you the way in, but this humble vent marks a point of no return. Before you descend into the depths here, you should be fully committed, equipped, and focused. No distractions. If you have errands to run, do them first or hold your peace. I won't tolerate whining. Is that clear?
You'll tolerate what I give you, Silence. I didn't ask you along for the ride.
Alright, I guess that's his warning. Point of no return. Well, I think we've done all the errands we want to do, and we are full up on equipment. Smoke him if you got him. Here we go.
I'm heading down.
I've spent a lifetime trying to uncover the secrets of this world. Where the machines came from. How the old ones achieved such marvels only to fall into silence and death. A lifetime of failure, as year by year, decade after decade, I hit walls I could not break, doors I could never breach.
Hello.
Until a Nora huntress marched out of the savage east. And voila, for her, all the deepest secrets of the earth were laid bare. I suspect you will have an easier time with this door than I did years ago.
Hold for identiscan. Genetic profile confirmed. Entry authorized. Malfunction. 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 Malfunction.
Are you kidding me?
You don't hear me laughing.
Shut up. There's gotta be another way. Hey! Elizabeth Sobek here! Requesting access!
Access request acknowledged. Root command functions available. Do you wish to proceed?
I do! Get me through this door!
Analyzing. Primary access inoperable due to mechanical failure. Emergency venting procedure likely to circumvent blockage. Do you wish to proceed?
Yes.
Emergency venting authorized.
I underestimated you. See, by now,
Guess you can't have everything.
that will draw attention. We won't have this place to ourselves for long now.
We? Last I checked, I was the one risking my life down here.
Yes, fine. Now will you please get moving? There's so much to learn in less time than I'd hoped.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn. We found it.
Are you really so surprised?
Facility diagnostics detect multiple failures. attempting repair.
So, what was this room?
An entrance hall, perhaps. Have a look around.
Another incident. Okay, well, we got in. And that's kind of odd because at the very beginning of the game, I don't know, some of you might remember from watching me play it, or maybe you've played it yourselves, but there's another one of these facilities of some kind with a big triangle door underneath the sacred mountain in the Nora lands. And Aloy was scanned, and they said her DNA was a 99 point something, whatever, 97, I don't remember the number, match for Elizabeth Sobeck, or Sobad, or whatever her name is, but they wouldn't let her in. So it's kind of weird that they're letting her in here, but they didn't let her into the other door. But I don't know, maybe we can get through the other door now for some reason. Maybe in the next, somewhere down the main quest line, I'm sure we'll be able to get through that door. Alright, another incident. Let's read it. From the lounge staff to admin. This morning's unfortunate incident with Dr. Popovich is another example of reception's need for additional support. We appreciate that Zero Dawn is an immensely complicated project, but as the staff who serve on the front line, we're tired of being neglected. As we have already requested, we need human translators, fluent in Polish, for example. Security staff who can subdue enraged embryologists, for example. And dermal sedatives to calm persons who are screaming in Polish, while hurling chairs and vases at reception staff, for example. Yes, most of the candidates are reasonably calm and well-behaved, but we need help handling the exceptions to that rule. Please respond. Most of the candidates are reasonably calm and well-behaved, and they have embryologists. Enraged embryologists. Alright, we still don't know for certain through the game exactly what Project Zero Dawn is, and it was supposed to be Elizabeth Sobeck's solution for the mass destruction that the robots were bringing across planet Earth. I have suggested that it was perhaps an ark of sorts full of DNA and embryos that is sent off-world to come back at some later date after the robots have been handled, because they mentioned this other thing. I think it was called Odyssey. Is that what it was called? Some project way in the past before the apocalypse, in which they were going to have people travel through space as frozen embryos, so that it wouldn't matter how long it took them to arrive in a new place, and once they got there, then I guess they would be quote-unquote hatched, or however they were going to be birthed and raised, I assume, by computers and robots. It would have to be. But that's how they were going to tackle the problem of long-distance space travel. But then that program was scrapped. And so I had said perhaps they decided to use the technology from that program to try to preserve human DNA and animal and plant DNA until the robot menace had sort of, destroyed itself or destroyed the Earth and then went dormant or whatever. Not sure. We're going to find out more about it, I guess, right here, right now. Hey, Nemo! How are you? I haven't seen you in ages. I was worried about you. Did you get my message on Twitter? I sent you a message on Twitter. How you been? Alright, anything else in here to read, do? There's a door. Oh, there's another data thingy-mabob. We need support too. From reception staff. Reception staff continues to require additional support managing ZD Zero Dawn, I assume, candidates when they arrive at the facility. Many are frightened or confused. Some are highly agitated. These are not the sort of persons who are accustomed to having information withheld from them. At minimum, we need human translators. The Langbots are not sufficient, and mild sedatives for the extreme cases. Any and all support would be welcome. Perhaps you could start by responding to one of these mails? Okay. Maybe they put that in there just in case you missed the first one, because it seems to be the same exact information, more or less. Is there anything out here? Did I miss anything? This seems to be where I landed. Alright. Alright, I see a bunker door. Alright, this was reception. Alright. Heading in.
Please take a seat and wait for your name to be called. A selection of beverages and snacks are available.
A smaller room.
A waiting room. With moldy couches. Restock or else. For the 5th time, please restock the lounge's selection of herbal teas. If I have to listen to one more egghead throw a tantrum because we're out of the organic cucumber mint or blackberry sage varietals, I'm going to lose it. Please respond. And this time, no tempest in a teapot or steep demand jokes. Okay. Okay. Now, why would there be a supply crate with sticks and metal shards in it inside this facility? From the distant, distant past, hundreds of years ago. Alright, that's a bit of a stretch. Oh. Soundproofing? Would it be possible to improve the soundproofing between VR1 and the lounge area? Most of the candidates stay quiet during the presentation, but the ones who scream or sob can be plainly heard by candidates awaiting their turn in the lounge. Just a thought. They're screaming and sobbing? Oh, that's creepy. Nemo saying, I so much want to tell you if you're right or not, but I won't. Alright, thank you. I appreciate your restraint. I know, I've been making a lot of observations and guesses along the way here throughout this whole game. I guess we'll know soon how right or wrong I am. I was right about some things. We've discovered quite a bit of information.
Please proceed with viewing room 1 for an important message regarding the purpose of your visit.
We've received I've unlocked a lot of information and received a lot of backstory and whatnot, but there's still some things I don't know. I think doing this quest we're about to find out.
A holographic theater.
CD01 data intact. Initiating playback.
Here we go, cutscene.
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn. I am General Harris, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States of America. I'm sure you've heard the rumors that Zero Dawn is a top-secret superweapons program, the technological miracle that will save us from the Pharaoh Plague, if Operation Enduring Victory can hold off the robots long enough. The reason I'm sure you've heard the rumors is that I'm the one who spread them, and they are all lies. Zero Dawn is not a superweapons program, and it will not save us. Nothing will save us. And here's why. By the time the glitch was noticed, it was already too late. Nothing could stop the Pharaoh Plague. Nothing can. Its robots will continue to replicate and devour the biosphere.
It doesn't feel
Life
pity
on
or
Earth
remorse.
will be destroyed. Our planet reduced to a barren sphere. Global extinction is inevitable.
Game over, man.
No matter how many we kill, the robots just keep exponentially making more. If we had their deactivation codes, we could shut them all down. the entire swarm. But since their cryptographic protocols use polyphasic entangled waveforms, cracking a code set would take half a century. At best, we've got 16 months. Not exactly what you'd call a survival option. The destruction of a biosphere is not the sort of apocalypse you can wait out in a fallout shelter or a space station. There will be no Earth left to reclaim. Just a lifeless, toxic rock with several million Pharaoh robots on it, hibernating, waiting for something to eat. This is the horrible truth behind the lies of Operation Enduring Victory. My lies. Lies designed to inspire millions of innocents to sacrifice themselves in battle. Why? One reason. To buy time for you and the work you will do here. 0 Day. The day that life on Earth ceases to exist is coming fast. It cannot be stopped. The hope of Zero Dawn is that something new might come after. But I will leave it to Elizabeth Sobek to shine that thin ray of light into the darkness. Harris, out.
That doesn't make sense. Life on Earth didn't cease to exist.
He said it could not be stopped.
But it was. Somehow Elizabeth saved us. I've got to keep looking. Find out how she did it.
Just scanning the room to see if there's anything else. Okay, I'm gonna tap out for a second here. Check in with the chat room. Okay. So we just had a big dun 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 reveal dropped on us, but I don't know if it was much of a dramatic reveal at this point because I don't think he's really telling me anything I didn't already know or suspect. I kind of had suspected all of this all along. It seemed kind of obvious it was leading up to this. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But I don't know. I mean, okay, I gotta go with it because this is the story of the game. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. But how would you make an infinite... I mean, I understand exponential growth, but how would you make an infinite number of robots without infinite resources? I mean, obviously, building the robots... I mean, I know some of the robots were being commandeered because they had given... like the Corruptor. The Corruptor has the ability to corrupt or corral, engage other robots, override their programming, and sort of bring them into the fold. And it's been established that there are, you know, hundreds of thousands of robots being used on the planet for mining and for bartending and for all kinds of different uses. So I could understand a Corruptor taking over all existing robots. But the idea that they're... Even the idea that they're self-replicating, I can kind of understand, but, like, how would they self-replicate without, like... I mean, in the game here, they have facilities that, you know, big cauldrons where they're bringing in, you know, the scrappers scrap things, the shell walkers walk, in the behemoths, walk this stuff back to the cauldrons. The stuff gets, you know, repurposed, you know, remade into new 3D printed, I guess, sort of, or you know, automated construction robots, you know, but that requires cauldrons. So were there cauldrons already in existence all over the Earth so the robots could replicate? I mean, how were they replicating themselves, and how were they doing that in an infinite way without infinite resources? I don't know. It seems a little bit of a stretch. Just a little bit of a stretch. But okay, we're going with it because that's what we got. This is what the game is giving us. What is this? The bad news. Alright, so this is what this guy was telling us. And, you know, I knew we had found some information at one point along the way. I can't remember exactly where some programmers were in an office somewhere. We found some data points where the programmers were talking about how there was no back door. There was no way to shut these things off. And this guy here is talking about crypto poly waveform yada yada yadas. I'm gonna have to float that one by my husband and see what he says. He is a programmer. So I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be like, oh yes, that is an actual thing, or if he's just gonna shake his head and go, whatever. But I'll tell you what, you know, hackers are pretty good at hacking just about anything. So again, it really stretches my ability to believe in this plotline that there's not hackers that could have hacked these robots in less than 50 years or whatever the guy said here. But okay, whatever. We're going with it. We got to go with it. That's what they're giving us. SW says we're all on the edges of our seats. Hey Jarrett, how you doing? Alright, moving on. Let's see what else we find out.
Kestrels. They got in. Through the vents.
Let nothing stop you from learning the truth.
Spread out! If it moves, kill it!
What is this place? Tomb?
Got it through the vents. Oh, he's right below me.
No monstrous darkness should...
I think there is some mistake. I don't understand why I was brought here. Why would you show me these things?
I know that there's already a lot to take in.
In the waiting area, I was seated with a Nobel laureate in biophysics and a monk, I think. He spoke neither English nor Mandarin. It is very strange. And General Harris? What was he talking about? The robot swarm, the Pharaoh plague? I understand it is terrible, but it really cannot be stopped? Why tell us this? There are people in Shanghai, my friends, my family. They have joined Operation Enduring Victory already. It is for nothing? We will all die?
We're going to be able to answer some of these questions.
I just want to know why I am here. It doesn't make sense to me.
You were brought here because of your skill set.
No, that can't be right. I am an art historian. I know Dutch masters, Japanese calligraphy, Gerhard Richter. What does that matter now?
Tom Paech.
Is accurate, yes.
So these mechanical monstrosities, they don't just kill people, they feed off them?
Not just people, all organic matter.
Every living thing dissolved into nutrients. Millennia of evolution liquefied. The miracle of life reduced to bloody biofuel.
In a word, yes.
Who did this? Pharaoh? That arsehole. Is he here?
No, Doctor.
Please, tell him Tom Paech wants a word. Now, get off! Get off! Doctor, please! You get Ted Pharaoh in here!
Travis Tate.
Want to discuss?
Whew. So Mama, she was right.
Pardon?
My mother, she took her Bible real serious. Not just Texas Bible serious, Pentecostal serious. Favorite chapter? Revelations. Now, I didn't always understand her on account of all that speaking in tongues and such, but when she did use her words, there was always end times this and lake of fire. There was always end times this and lake of fire that on kind of sinful lifestyles. Speaking of which, There was always end times this and the lake of fire that on kind of sinful lifestyles. Speaking of which, mind if I smoke?
A tobacco cigarette.
Sorry, darling. My taste run classic. Compliments to your team tracked me down. Been a price on my head 18 months now. Sterling Malkeith was me, don't mind admitting. Been plenty of snakesters chasing the bounty too. But I kept the zigging to their zag. How'd you finger me?
I believe Dr. Sobek listed you as an alpha candidate. Priority snatch and grab.
Always suspected she had a little thing for me. Hey, I don't suppose you got real coffee in this place. You know, blood coffee? Conflict cappuccinos?
Mr. Tate, I'm clearing you to proceed. Just go.
Got someone to fight here. Don't let me die. Kill me.
We're too close to let tribal primitives stop us now. The data points, what do they contain?
Well, I guess we'll have to drop this. Come on. There were still some more data points back here. I was kind of only half paying attention to that dude. Brad Andac.
Who previously worked for Pharaoh Automated Systems.
On the chariot line self-replication routines. I came here thinking this was a rendition. When your people took me, I thought, about time. I've been trying to swallow the guilt every day since...
Would you like to take a moment?
No, I really hoped Zero Dawn was a way to undo it all. My work. And I'm sorry to say I was ever proud of it, but Ted could really sell a concept, and in the labs, in the light of creation, that first test run, when you saw they understood their own structures, could rebuild themselves from memory and light, there were no limits. God, there were no limits.
Okay, there's a lot to read down here. Interview Susanne Alpert.
With Susanne
Alpert,
Alpert, environmental scientist.
Alpert, okay.
Doctor?
I'm sorry, I wasn't,
Just stating your name. What were you thinking about, Doctor?
Nothing the General said, not really. I was on the Syzygy East Response Team in 2051, just after the second earthquake compromised the reactor. I still dream about it, after all these years. The red zone spreading on the imaging, slowly, so slowly, like a hand opening its fingers.
Your involvement in that event is why you were asked for by name.
Really? That's interesting. Because nothing worked. Nothing could grow there again. It was a catastrophic failure. But the red zone is a blip compared to global-scale biomass reduction. The biosphere and hydrosphere will collapse, render the Earth uninhabitable long before the robots finish us. Enduring victory can't buy time against that. So, you'd better show me what Zero Dawn really is.
Alright.
I'm sure you now understand the urgency of why we brought you here, Ms. Okilo.
Captain Okilo. Are you trying to thank me for not resisting?
I believe we couldn't negotiate a diplomatic solution.
When it came to my country's lithium, it was always a swarm that would be sent to negotiate. Metallurgic International, US Robot Command. The markings changed, but the robots were the same.
You have had considerable experience in human-robot conflict.
Yes, and I've got the prosthetic limbs to show it. Yet I continue to face this horror, even though the challenge was great. Cyber warfare. I thought Zero Dawn would be a Manhattan project to generate the deactivation codes. With the resources I had, I estimated code breaking to be a hopeless endeavor.
I was almost looking forward to being proved wrong.
Unfortunately, your estimation was correct.
As your General Hera said. So then, you did not bring me here to commiserate. What is left?
Alright. And Counselor Guidelines. Let's view the notebook. Okay. Alright, not too much. For debriefing after Presentation 1, candidates must be allowed to ask questions and be given the necessary time to fully absorb the information they have received. It is important to be aware that candidates have just been exposed to triggers for severe mental and emotional trauma. Do not assume silence or outward calmness indicates acceptance. It is essential to stress that all other options for combating the feral plague and preserving the continuation of human life have been considered and found unworkable. Communicate this fact calmly but clearly and firmly. Familiarize yourself with data on the catastrophic environmental impact of nuclear engagements versus the swarm, Addendum B1, and unfeasibility of maintaining life in orbital, lunar, or undersea structures, Addenda C1, C2, C3, so that you can counter candidates' objections in depth. Okay. Well, that's a breezy way to just kind of plot yourself right past any any player questions. Nope, sorry. Can't go into orbit, can't go on the moon, can't go into water. Just get that out of your minds. Well, they did establish that there was a swarm, which is what they call a group of these robots that had been churning its way through the oceans and destroying dolphins and things like that. I think in another episode we found out about that. So I can understand that. It wouldn't be possible to hide under the water. They'd come find us. But on the moon or in orbit? I guess they just didn't have time to build lunar colonies or something. They didn't have lunar colonies yet. You could do like a biosphere kind of thing, you know, like a little self-sustaining, inhabitable colony of sorts. But I guess, you know, you'd need a lot of them for all the humans on the planet, and they wouldn't be able to manufacture them fast enough. Though somehow the robots are able to manufacture lots of other robots in lickety-split time. And I think there was even a mention in another episode of somebody saying that they were manufacturing barracks or something like that. So they could have manufactured colony sort of. They're saying they can't live in bunkers. I imagine that the robots would dig under the ground and get people out of the bunkers, crack them open like a like a nut and eat their juicy meats inside. But don't know why they couldn't put quickly manufactured bio-sustaining colonies out on the moon. Maybe they just didn't have that technology or something. I don't know. But okay, we'll go with it, because that's what they're giving us. If a candidate asks for time alone to review supplementary information, allow this without hesitation. Be sure to inform security personnel so the candidate can be monitored for attempts at self-harm. Candidates should only be cleared to proceed to Presentation 2 if you believe their mental state is sufficiently stable. Note that real-time support will be available via your focus, security, and medical crisis teams are data corrupted. Well, the people working in this facility must be extremely well-adjusted. They sound almost like Vault Tech people from Fallout. You know, somehow the whole idea of the world ending just doesn't rattle them at all, and they're just going to carry on and do their jobs and be matter-of-fact about it and, you know, yada yada. Okay. Alright, if you say so. Hey, just like I see you in the chat room. Asking how is Mr. Jules doing? He's doing really well, thank you. I was talking about it earlier at the beginning of the live stream, but yes, I am back already. We were expecting maybe a more complicated procedure, but things went really well. The doctor made some decisions when he got in there and looked at things and decided to not do the full... There were lots of procedures he was going to possibly do, and he didn't do all of them. He did enough to hopefully relieve a lot of pain and suffering, but he didn't do a fusion. He didn't fuse anything in his lower back. But you know, he kind of cleaned things up and did some surgery in there, so hopefully he won't be in pain for a long time once everything heals up. Of course, he's in pain right now because it was surgery, but the pain that he was having in his legs and back and all of that seems to be gone. It's just the pain at the incision site now that he's dealing with. So, and he's amazingly up and about. That's what gets me. I mean, I cannot believe that he had back surgery when they were working on his spine, and he's walking around. I mean, he uses a cane, but he's not using a walker or anything. I mean, that he's even able to walk around just blows my mind. I mean, when I had my surgery, I was mine was brain surgery, but I couldn't even walk around for like weeks. I was in such a horrible way. But I just can't believe it's been a few days and he's already walking around with a cane and stuff. I mean, not a lot, you know, he doesn't want to overdo it, but it's amazing. We had a really, really good surgeon. I'm very happy. Very, very happy. Alright. Let's get on with getting on in this story and see what else is in here. We're exploring the Zero Dawn facility. It looks like there's some little hidey holes in here. I don't know where these go. Alright, so this one leads back out to where the big gun is. This one goes down here. I guess we could have used this to bypass the baddies. Oh. Maybe? Can we step out here? Alright, I think we were already in this room. I would like to go grab that big gun, but the game's probably not going to let me carry that forward. Because she's not going to be able to carry it through cutscenes or up ladders or anything like that, so like right here, she's gonna go through here. Oh, alright, maybe we can take this with us.
CD02 data intact. Initiating playback.
Oh, nope, cutscene.
Sobek.
You've heard the bad news, and it's all true. The Pharaoh Plague is devouring the biosphere. Life itself will cease to exist. But does that have to be the end? What if we could give life a future? What if we could build a kind of seed from which, on a dead planet, life could blossom anew? This is the aim, the hope, of Project Zero Dawn. To create a super-intelligent, fully automated terraforming system and bring life back from lifelessness. What would such a system require? At its core, it would need a true AI, fully capable of making the trillions of decisions necessary to reconstitute the biosphere. An immortal guardian, devoted to the reflourishing of life. We call it Gaia. Mother Nature as an AI. But that's just the core of the system. She will need to be surrounded and empowered by a comprehensive suite of subordinate functions. Think of them as extensions of Gaia's mind, each dedicated to a specific purpose. Now, these aren't AIs, but make no mistake, each presents an engineering challenge more profound than anything the human species has ever before attempted. Hardware that preserves and then gestates the billions of seeds and embryos from which life will be reborn. the construction of underground facilities to hold it all. And that's just the start. We don't have to build the entire system. The beauty of a fully automated terraforming system is that it can build itself. Now, over the days to come, you'll learn how all these functions, all these pieces that you'll be working on, fit together. How we'll race the clock to execute our harvest initiatives, write the software, build the tech and the facilities. How we'll lock it down and seal it up before the inevitable occurs. But even more important, you'll know how it doesn't end here. How Gaia will generate those deactivation codes General Harris talked about, and build the transmission arrays to broadcast them, shutting down the Pharaoh robots for good. How Gaia will not just build, but imagine any conceivable robot it needs to do its work across centuries. From detoxifying the Earth's ravaged atmosphere and poisoned seas, to the regreening of the Earth from cryopreserved seed stalks, to rewilding the Earth with animal life. And then, when all that is done, how a new generation of human beings, spawned at cradle facilities around the globe, will partake of Apollo, the vast archive of human knowledge and cultural achievement from which they will learn of us, our world. And most important, how not to repeat our mistakes.
Well, somehow they missed all that.
Dream. It is within our grasp if we work tirelessly and stop at nothing to achieve it. We can't stop life from ending. But if you will help me, help Gaia, we can give it a future. Join me and help make that future real.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
The whole Earth destroyed, but then remade?
Yes. By a machine. A machine of creation.
Elizabeth did this. For life. For us. But why Hades then? If it was part of Gaia, how did it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh robot? And why does it want to kill me? And Apollo, the archive of knowledge, what happened to that?
Yeah, that's the question.
I'm as confused as you are. Maybe the answers lie ahead.
Woo! Okay. Well, that is deep, y'all. Alright, look. All I could think while I was listening to all of that was bullshit. Because, I'll tell you what, if they can't even make a functioning open world video game without glitches, there is no way that they would be able to make an entire suite of complementary AIs that were going to repopulate and re-terraform the Earth. And they're supposed to create all of that in what, like a year? Oh my god, no, 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 no. God help us, don't put Todd Howard in charge of that project. Sorry. Oh. Okay, but that's what they're giving us. Alright, that's the story. We're going with it. Oh. Jared's asking, have you gotten any power cells in the game? Yeah, I think I have had. I've gotten 3 so far. I've got 2 or 3 more to get. I've gone to the Ancient Armory, and I think you could plug in a couple of power cells, and it opens up, and you go in there and look at it. And then there's the only way to get the armor out is to find another 3 of them. And I have 1 of those, and then there's like 2 more. There's one inside All Mother Mountain, which I did not grab when I was in there at the beginning of the game, because I had no idea that I needed to look around and grab anything in there at the beginning of the game. But I guess we're going to go back to that at some point, and so maybe I'll be able to grab it when I'm in there in some future quest. And then there's another one that we get in a mission called The Mountain That Fell. And that one comes sometime after the quest I'm currently doing. So, yeah, I don't have them all yet. But I know about them. I know I need to get them all. Oh, yeah, just like you were telling me that you had uploaded a Sunshine Tidings video. I hadn't had a chance to take a look at it. Thank you for reminding me, though. I have been spending quite a lot of time just taking care of Mr. Jules and sleeping a lot. Or not sleeping, as the case might be, because of my new upstairs neighbors, the Stompers from Thumpington. Okay, thank you, just like I'll let him know. Alright. What have we got here? There's a data point, exclamation mark. I guess some of these... I think we listened to all of these already. Yeah, I think we listened to all these when we first came in. Oh, we missed something here and here. Oh well. Something here. There we go. Okay. Game progression, 77%. Oh. Shadow items are considered part of the game completion. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Am I supposed to buy all of the shadow items and then I'll have game completion? Yeah, I know I've got a lot of quests still to do. It's going to end up being... I'm not going to get 100% on this game. I have... There's no interest for me in doing all the corrupted zones and cauldrons and whatnot. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And the hunters' lodges and stuff. All right. Moving on. Moving on.
Should give me the upper hand.
If more of these schmucks come in here. Make your selection. Press to view the notebook. You are now in possession of information regarding the true nature and purpose of Project Zero Dawn, classified far above top secret. As such, we regret that you cannot be allowed to leave this facility. There are 3 options available to you at this point. Please consider each carefully. Trained counselors are standing by to assist you in making your choice. Participation. You'll be assigned to a sub-project team based on your area of expertise. You should be aware that the way forward will be difficult and the project's outcome is uncertain. You will be expected to work a minimum of 80 hours per week, and your communications with family members will be strictly limited and monitored in real time. Upon successful completion of the project, you and your immediate family, or 2 persons of your choosing, will be transferred to the Elysium sealed habitat to live out the remainder of your natural lives. Elysium sealed habitat. Okay. Well, if there could be an Elysium sealed habitat, why not make more of those? I was just saying a minute ago, wouldn't it have been easier to manufacture a bunch of colonization modules for the moon and send people out there than to build all this AI? But okay, what do I know? Indefinite detention. Should you choose to decline participation in Project Zero Dawn, you will be confined indefinitely. You will be given 48 hours to reconsider, after which your decision to refuse participation will be considered irrevocable. Every reasonable effort will be made to make your term of confinement as comfortable as possible, but you will not be permitted contact with the outside world, and death within 18 months due to the Pharaoh Plague is inevitable. When the Zero Dawn facility is abandoned, detainees who wish not to opt for medical euthanasia will be released. Oh, maybe that's what we found at the beginning of the game. Remember, we found that facility, those ruins near where Aloy grew up. When she was a kid, she fell into some ruins, and it looked like a whole bunch of people had committed suicide, but some of them had taken their chances outside. I remember them saying that. There were folks who said, screw this, I'm going to go outside. And I guess they got eaten by robots. Medical euthanasia. The information you have just received understandably calls into question the purpose of continuing to live. If you would prefer to end your life at this point, pain-free medical euthanasia is available. A 48-hour waiting period is required, during which time you may instead opt for participation or confinement. Please notify a counselor when you are ready to make your choice or if you have further questions. Wow. Okay. Oop. There's another one in here. Counselor Guidelines 2. For debriefing after Presentation 2, it is vitally important that candidates choose to participate in Project Zero Dawn voluntarily and knowingly without additional coercion and without value judgment on the part of the counselor. Confirm for candidates that they were selected due to their skill sets and accomplishments. Emphasize that their dedicated participation in Zero Dawn will increase the project's chances of success. Frame participation in Zero Dawn as an opportunity to respond actively in the face of an overwhelming threat. Candidates may question the fairness of their selection, validate such objections as normal, even admirable responses, emphasize the value of candidates' expertise to the future, not just of humanity, but terrestrial life as a whole. Likewise, candidates may balk at the morality of extending their lifespans and those of loved ones beyond 0 day. What? Validate their hesitation. Acknowledge that while the reward of Elysium is not fair, it will be earned. If possible, redirect their ethical misgivings towards greater commitment to the project. Okay, so Elysium is something that's going to exist past 0 day. 0 day is supposed to be when the whole biosphere goes kaput. So there were people that went into a place called Elysium, which I know is named after, I think it's the Greek name for heaven or whatever, the afterlife for good people. But if they could create an Elysium for people to continue existing after Zero Dawn, then why not do that for everybody? Maybe we'll find out later. When candidates challenge the plausibility of Project Zero Dawn, permit them to review Dr. Sobek's presentation as many times as they wish and allow access to supplemental articles G01 through P20. Allow them to suspend the interview to fully process this documentation. A significant minority of candidates will elect for medical euthanasia. It is important to receive this decision kindly and without judgment. Advise them of the 48-hour waiting period during which counselors will be available to discuss their decision. Emphasize that euthanasia will not occur without repeated consent when the procedure is scheduled to take place. No one will be euthanized against his or her will. Candidates who elect indefinite detention must be informed that they have 48 hours to reverse their decision, after which the decision, we know, it becomes permanent. Irrevocable, I think was the word they used. Barbarian King saying, take the easy way out. Yeah, for folks that want to just say, to hell with this, they have that option. Medicine pouch full, medicine pouch full. Uh-oh. Are we gonna have to fight more dudes?
Now this thing is dangerous.
Intruder! Get her!
Whatever you do, don't die now.
Whatever you do, don't die now. Okay, I'll try, dude.
Let this be go!
Alrighty. Oh, 101 metal shards. Thank you. Oh, I guess we can go back in here and grab these Are there any more back here? Oh, we missed some information. Interview 2, Brad Andac.
Of course I'll do it. To be given the opportunity to rebuild what the damage that I don't feel worthy of it, but I will do it, absolutely.
I want to stress that this was never about your culpability.
It is to me. Dr. Hsu-Vhey, Margo, they were smart to get out of Pharaoh when they did, but not one of us took it as a warning sign. It just told ourselves that we're cut out for the BTRI cabals. That's the better than rapid innovation. Better at competing, better than the next guy, a better killing machine. It's just amazing how a century and a half of science fiction did nothing to swerve our species from the path of doom. I mean, I'm done with that life. I mean, I will work hard, twice as hard, to earn this, for my family to have a place in Elysium.
Unless Elysium is a lie, too.
That there could be atonement.
Nope. Could be Elysium is a lie.
If you're still nauseous.
No, the inhibitors have kicked in. I can't feel the back of my tongue. I wish I could tell you I'd believe in this. But the damage is too great, too extensive, too complete. With all respect to Dr. Hsu-Vhey's work at Miriam, no. No, life doesn't always find a way to keep going. Sometimes it never comes back. Like Syzygy East. Like the Congo. Like Timo. Like us. That's our reward? A buried city full of terminal patients waiting out the clock?
You'd grow old together, with your loved ones, in safety.
I don't have loved ones. I suppose I could start a family?
I'm afraid not. All inhabitants of Elysium will be medically sterilized.
What?
A habitat capable of sustaining a starting base of 2,000 individuals for up to 100 years is a huge challenge, Dr. Alpert. If the population grows instead of diminishes, everyone will be dead inside 30 years.
I knew it. I just couldn't bring myself to say the words.
I'm sorry?
Finish it. Medical euthanasia. I want no part of this. I just want it over.
I see. Protocols require a 48-hour waiting period, after which...
Okay, so they could invent an Elysium in which people could survive for 100 years, but it couldn't be a self-sustaining biosphere type. I mean, you know what I mean when I say biosphere, right? They did that little scientific experiment. Let me tap out for a second. They did that scientific experiment years ago. I don't know how many couple decades ago, where they made a completely enclosed system that people lived in, and it had food for them to grow, and it had processors to process their waste, and they were testing it to see how long they could live in a completely enclosed environment, how long it would sustain life. And I did a lot of reading about that when I wrote my science fiction novels, because in my novels, for those of you who don't know, I am a published author. In my novels, I had this idea that colonization would take place via the mass production of standardized colonization modules, blocks in the books, that are like, they fit together like Legos. But each one, it can be self-sustained, self-contained, with 3 or 4 little rooms for people to live in, and then a garden that they communally care for. And it would be based on the concept of this biosphere experiment that was done. And the idea is that, it would be self-sustaining. So you would grow your own food, and it would provide oxygen, and it would process waste, and you would live in it. And then if you plug a bunch of those together, you get a colony. And, you could basically put them on a planet with no atmosphere, which is what happens in my novels. You put them on, that there was this planet called Asteria that they put them on. And there were hundreds of them. They made a huge square, and they could be put side by side, or they could be stacked on top of each other, and power was generated via solar panels and other things. Anyway, I did a bunch of research into that concept of a self-sustained enclosed environment in a planet without oxygen. So, I mean, it's not that far-fetched. I mean, it's no more far-fetched than the idea of building AI that will repopulate the planet or whatever. So it seems a little weird to me that, like, you know, they're doing this, all this. I mean, I know I'm questioning the basic premise of the whole game, and I should just shut up and go with it. But I'm just saying, you know, that the idea that they're going to do all of this programming and designing and creating of all of these AIs and systems, that hopefully none of them will malfunction, so that everything goes along correctly, and life, you know, the planet can be terraformed, and life can come back to it, and the human race can continue, and all of that is, like, really seems so much more complicated than just building self-sustaining colonization modules. Or, you know, like they're calling it Elysium, you could live in for 100 years. Well, how come only 100? Like, why does everybody have to be sterilized? Why would you not have possibly controlled growth and, you know, allow for a self-sustaining population that could continue existing inside of them? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out more about all of that as we go through more of the story here, but it's definitely interesting. It's definitely interesting. They put a lot of thought into this. It's an intriguing idea, and that's what it is. It's speculative. It's speculative fiction. It's always interesting to speculate and say, what if? What if? Hey, hi Stella! I see you in the chat room. Hello, Jack Ace. I'm not going to read your comments because I don't recognize your name, and I'm trying to avoid spoilers with this. This is my first time playing this game. So unfortunately, I have had people that I don't know who've popped into the chat room and mentioned things that that gave me information I didn't already have. I'm just talking out loud as I'm uncovering this information as we go along here. All right. Ron Felder, what has Ron got to say?
Is he to make sure I behave this time?
Security, for your protection.
Alert.
Would you like to discuss how you feel?
Sure. I'll tell you. Surprised. No, flabbergasted. Like my own man would say, flabbergasted. That vein pumping in his forehead. I thought you people were just completely underprepared for a spaceflight project. But now I can see it's worse. Much worse. Sobeck is a total fantasist, a dangerous fantasist. He's kind of blue-skying. It's... Jesus. I'm sorry we wasted each other's time. I'm ready to leave now.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Everything you're talking about here isn't possible.
I recommend you read the documents regarding your options.
I've seen enough. I'm getting out of here. What did you... You don't... Get your hands off me!
Alright, Ron. Ron had a little spirit. What's down here? Go in here. What is this? Oh, Stranded Shackles. I guess that can go with my stranded necklace I think I found. In another quest when we were out at the Grave Hoard. There it is, Stranded Shackles, and yes, we found a stranded necklace. I did a little more poking around about what these things were. We can find 3 items. When we find the 3rd item, it will complete a collection that we can turn in to one of the merchants in Meridian. But the reason they're called stranded is because it's a little bit of an Easter egg, or a little promotion kind of thing for a game. I think it's called Death Stranding, something like that. It's a game that is being created. I don't think it's been finished yet, and it's being done with the same engine that was used to make Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't remember the guy's name, because I'm not a intense Metal Gear Solid person, but I think the guy that did the Metal Gear Solid franchise, who's no longer working on Metal Stranding or Death Stranded or whatever the game is. Okay. But hey, we found these shackles, so there's some other third item we need to find. Then we can turn that in for some kind of reward box that'll probably be full of mods that we don't need. Can we go through here? Oh, if I creepy creep, what is in here? Why would we need to be able to come in here? Wonder if we're gonna end up back in here at some point. Alright. I think we have explored all there is to explore. We need to go this way, where we were shooting the dudes. Oh, she went over the wall a little bit. There we go. We came through here and shot some dudes. There they are. Is there something in here? Yes, there is. Tom Paech, or Paech?
I hashed it out with them, what the point of Artemis was. I made it clear I wasn't on board for a global zoo. We haven't exactly proved ourselves to be great custodians in the past few thousand years. So the idea of a reconstituted biosphere, well, it's horrifying, isn't it? A complete horror show. We have no right to take a best guess at this stuff. But the alternative? Nothingness. For there to have been all this, and then nothing. And with Charles Ronson running the show, I respect him. He's got a passion to him. He's hot-blooded. So I said I'll do it. I'll put my all into this, literally. When the project is done, I'll take the medical option, thank you. Counselor said I might change my mind. I told him that he didn't know me very well then. For life's sake. I'll do the dirty work.
Power's down.
But I want no part of this pathetic attenuated future on offer.
Just need my
I'm an
focus.
outdoors man. Never did like the feel of solid state lighting on my skin. And a wee bit of a claustrophobe anyway.
Oh, I kind of missed what she was saying to Susanne there. Oh, another big gun. Oh. Something down there. What's this? Ooh, he had a bunch of goodies. More in here. Travis Tate.
Now, those lame FBI black hats at Mockingbird back in the day, I enjoyed schooling them. But maybe I went in too hard on this poor counselor. She was cute, and just going down a checklist after all. Couldn't expect her to see how ridiculous Zero D's ambitions are. God's own budget thrown at a kid playing with a hologram sculptor? Palms up, honey. I'm just calling it like it is. Hey, look, Mom, I'm making nature. Now, if nature is so important, why not let nature take its course? Extinction? That's natural. Zero Dawn? No, ma'am, that ain't. Heck, it's so unnatural to be called an abomination back home, and you know it. That's why you're hiding it. Meanwhile, my little honey of a counselor, she's munching the inside of her cheek. Bad habit. She chewed one of her nails, too, just one. Not your day, was it, little sweet pea? Saw her quota slipping away. Said, I assume you intend to decline the assignment, Mr. Tate. You kidding me? 18 months hard labor in exchange for 30 years lounging around Elysium watching porn? Sign me up.
I kind of like that dude. Alright. Christina Hsu-Vhey.
Zero Dawn. He is odd in a way. An expression on the grandest scale. But there is so much unfairness. Why was I chosen? Was it decided by committee? By algorithm? My family will be saved because I happen to graduate in art history? Is this right?
Dr. Hsu-Vhey? Christina Hsu-Vhey?
Yes? I met a man, another historian. His fields are Bauhaus and the New Materialists. But he once attended one of my talks. Another unfair chance. Of all the many people in that auditorium, that we should both be here now. And yet, I feel more accepting of my fate. No, it is not fair. Not at all. But for the sake of my family, for the sake of art. Art is alive. It must be able to speak from beyond history and echo in the future, not perish into oblivion. This opportunity, I must do this.
Okay. Heading down. I think we got everything up here. I don't know. Maybe I missed something. Let's look at our notebook, data points, yada yada. Yeah, I've missed a few here. But okay. Oh, another one of these locked puzzle doors, huh? Okay. What's over here? That's gonna be our way in. Probably full of more dudes to fight.
Here we go. Another one of these. I need to find the right config. There's a part missing. Maybe there's a storage area nearby.
Hey, I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay? Somehow, he managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed, send him up to storage for a new emitter, not me. Parker out.
Up to storage for a new emitter. Can't do anything here. Man, they can't even install the doors properly and they think they're gonna fix the Earth, huh? I mean, I guess it worked. I mean, there's humans here now. So, whatever they did, it worked. Maybe not the way they intended. Data shows required settings for nearby hollow locks. Okay. Left, up, left, down. Are there only 4 of them? Nope, there's 5 of them. That's not helping me. Oh, okay, there we go. Left, up, left, down, right. Left, up, left, down, and right.
Done. I should check the door nearby.
Alright, that one's green. Secure encryption port with holographic display. Data shows required settings for nearby hololocks. Error detected. Settings transposed. Hololock. Interface unavailable. Alright, we gotta go find... the storage room.
Hello.
Uh-oh. Maybe it's up there? Can we climb this? Of course not. That would make too much sense. Oh, here we go, maybe? Nope, of course not. She can do all kinds of crazy parkour, but she can't climb up that. Got it. I don't know if you guys saw, I tweeted out earlier today about one of those girlfriend reviews. There's a channel on YouTube called Girlfriend Reviews where she reviews video games that her boyfriend plays. It's really funny. It's a comedy channel. It's not meant to be taken too seriously, but I do think they make good points about games sometimes. And she did one for Horizon Zero Dawn recently. And one of the things she said was that when they make a sequel to this game, they need to let you climb up everywhere, not just where there's yellow nipples, she called them. I've been calling it bird poop ledges, but yeah, there's yellow nipples too. Okay, so in here... Oh, I guess I gotta leave my gun. Alright. Leaving my gun. Looks like we should go this way. Oh, that must be it there.
Found one. Looks intact.
Excellent. Can we drop from here? Nope, can't drop from here. Alright.
That should do the trick. Now let's get that door open.
Alright, they said they were putting backwards, so down, right, up, left, down. Down, right, up, left. And the last one is down. Is that right? Oh, maybe they didn't mean inverted that way. Maybe they meant from bottom to top instead of top to bottom. Maybe this is supposed to be... And then this one's supposed to be right. And this one's supposed to be down. And then left and then up. Nope. Or maybe they're lying. Let's just follow the pattern normally. Down, right, up. Down. Nope, that's not it either. Maybe just the one in the middle that we had to like turn, put in. Nope. Huh. Okay. Settings transposed, it says. Oh, it's upside down. So the Pharaoh thing is at the bottom. Ah, okay, hang on. So the first one Needs to go down. Okay, I think I got this. I think I got it now. And then left. And then up. And then right, and then down. Alright, this one needs to go down.
That did it.
There we go.
Door should have power.
Now to see what lies beyond it.
Alright, here we go. Where did I drop my big gun? Oh, Nemo's gotta go. Oh, thanks for stopping in, Nemo. It was good to hear from you, though. I was getting worried about you. I'm glad you're doing good. Yes, I hope you're doing good. But I'm glad you're able to stop in and say hello. I missed ya. Oh, great. And she doesn't have her big gun, of course.
Eclipse. They're here.
Avoid contact.
Lines look good.
Gaia. It's up there. Second floor.
Can you reach it?
So much for avoiding contact.
And the door's shut with the gun on the other side of it. Gosh darn it. Thanks, game. Oh, the music is terribly epic. For only 3 guys in here. Third person. Not used to third person. Still not used to third person.
Someone here.
I'm not here.
come from?
That's right. No one here.
I guess they found my other tripwire over there.
Don't mind me. That's the last of them. Or not.
Shit.
Here!
Room's clear. For a moment, anyway.
Then get moving. You have to find Gaia.
No space.
Gotta find Gaia, huh?
Hello, I'm Margo Shen, and this is Hephaestus. As the name might tip you off, this is going to be the subordinate function that Gaia will use to make lots and lots of robots. Her personal forge. Except, it's not that simple. You probably noticed that only about a third of you are robotics engineers. The rest, experts in machine cognition, virtual heuristics, that stuff. Well, that's because we aren't going to be the ones designing and building robots. The last thing we want is to burden Gaia with a bunch of outmoded 21st century designs. A waste of time. Our purpose is to empower Gaia to build the robots, and not just build, imagine, from scratch. Any robot she needs for any conceivable purpose, designed and fabricated at a snap of a finger. Hers. Her finger. So, Hephaestus isn't really the forge. It's more like the knowledge of craft and ingenuity of a mastersmith to wield the hammer. Encoded as software. Virtual creativity made real. Gaia's already learning. In simulation, she's doing some very creative things with fractal assembly and animal morphologies. Her designs aren't about to win the Liam Prize anytime soon, but hey, everyone has to start somewhere. So, yes, time to get started. Let's do this.
I don't get it.
Which part? It's a little technical at places.
If Gaia was designed to save life, why would the robots it makes attack people?
Perhaps it loves some forms of life more than others.
The derangement. The machines weren't always so angry.
True. Mostly they were docile until 10, 15 years ago.
For years, Hephaestus has been forcing cauldrons to make aggressive machines. I've seen it myself, in the cauldrons. Stalkers, Ravagers, the Thunderjaw. How could it do that? And why?
Why indeed?
Alright, full steam ahead. From Elizabeth Sobek. Alright, yeah, so we know that, like she said, for up until 10 or 15 years ago, the machines were docile. I think we learned much earlier in the game, the Nora would hunt them and didn't have to worry too much about being attacked by them. You could, chuck a rock and they would run off or whatever. They would just hunt them for the parts that they needed to build things or make things or whatever. Obviously not to eat. They didn't need to eat them. But then there was this thing they're calling the derangement. And suddenly the machines started getting really, really nasty. And suddenly there started being built really nasty, militarized robots. Not just the nice ones that look like horsies, but the big nasty ones like the like the Thunderjaw or whatever started showing up recently, and the Corruptors and stuff. But we don't really know why that happened. I'm assuming it's because Hades was unearthed. We met Hades in a previous episode. I think it was the previous quest to this one, the main story quest before this one. Hades seems to be, well, they're calling it a demon, but he seems to be an AI that recognizes her as Elizabeth Sobek, recognizes her as, I'm assuming, the cause for the machines, the bad machines going dormant, the swarms and stuff. He doesn't like her one bit, and that's why he wants all the Shadow Karja, I guess, kind of worship Hades, and are working with Hades, and Hades keeps telling them to kill Aloy, and that's how the whole game started. Way back in the beginning of the game, she was at the Proving, remember? And they got attacked by killers, they were called, but now we know they are the Shadow Karja, operating under order of this AI called Hades. Alright, so what's Elizabeth Sobek saying to Margo? Margo, if I doubted your brilliance in the slightest, I wouldn't have picked you as the Hephaestus Alpha. You need to stop worrying about your age and communication style. You are who you are. Have confidence in yourself. You know what you're doing. Case in point, the latest draft of your plan for the construction and stocking of bootstrap silos to store raw materials is excellent. This, combined with your design for the AM Foundry core and the Foundry site selection plan, add up to a comprehensive plan. It's time to start construction. One detail, consult with Okilo. I think we talked, it was Captain Okilo we heard in a previous data point. Before you finalize the silo inventories, Hephaestus' first task will be to fabricate the robots that will construct the waveform broadcast towers Minerva will use to transmit the deactivation codes. So any exotic materials needed for the tower should be accounted for in the inventory plan, Elizabeth. Okay, so the broadcast towers, I think we saw one of those in the hologram. Looks just like the spire that's near Meridian. If I'm understanding this correctly, they are going to let Gaia, or Gaia's programs, supplementary programs or whatever, work on cracking the code that the general guy, I think his name was Harris. Earlier, we saw a hologram of him in this live stream. He was saying that they couldn't possibly crack the codes, crypto waveform, blah, 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 blah. It would take 50 years for them to crack the codes needed to stop the swarms. But this buried AI will have all the time it needs to run its programs and crack those codes and then send out the codes and make all of the robots dormant. So I guess they're going to build these, I guess Minerva, right, goddess of wisdom, is going to transmit the deactivation codes via these spires. So there must be more than one spire, but there is one broadcast tower near Meridian, and that's what made all the bad robots go dormant. That's what I'm guessing is what happened here. If I'm understanding correctly all this information that we're getting, because we're really getting a buttload of info dumped on us here. So I'm trying to process this and understand what's happening, and that's what it sounds like to me, is they're going to make robots. The robots are going to build broadcast towers and somehow manage to survive without being destroyed by the evil robots in the process, and then those broadcast towers are going to transmit deactivation codes that will have been developed over decades of trying to crack the code to get the swarm deactivated. Alright. What else did we... There's an exclamation point shouting at me. Am I missing it? I don't see it. Notebook. Yeah, data point. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's continue through here. Is this it here? Is this how they're going to build the robots? Some kind of big construction wheel sort of thing. Alright, simulation results. From Margo to Elizabeth. Wow, you weren't kidding about Gaia's predilection for animal morphologies. Sure, not totally unexpected given the rough natural terrain her bots will have to navigate, but I agree that there's something deeper going on here. Her designs aren't just functional, they feel almost, well, like tributes is the word that comes to mind, as though she's already mourning their loss, and not just for the disappearing fauna of our time, but creatures from the fossil record too. References to megafauna in some of her designs. So cool. Well, whatever Gaia thinks up, Hephaestus will empower her to build it. I just wish we could still be around in a century or two to see what she makes.
I've seen these shapes before. In cauldrons.
But of course, the birthing places of Gaia's machines.
Alright, so they made... The people who built this Zero Dawn project made the cauldrons to make good machines to terraform the Earth. But those cauldrons have been corrupted, I guess, by Hades? Is that what we're understanding here? Yeah, we saw that when we came in. That's the holo projector that was playing when we came in. Probably missing some more information here somewhere, but... Alright. What's back here? Anything? Nope. Just nothing. Okay. See what this has to say. What is this one? Can we get it? Yeah. Do we have to get in there to get it? Doesn't seem to work through the glass. Okay. Nope. These guys.
I think this is it. Elizabeth Sobek's office. But it's sealed off. There's got to be a way inside.
Keep looking.
Keep looking. That means probably keep fighting the dudes. Yep.
More Eclipse.
Careful now.
Yep, there they are. Oh, there's a lot of them. Did I get them all? Do I have them all tagged? It looks like I do.
These tunnels go on and on, but the shadow shall guide.
I'm waiting for this walkway to break under my feet. Been in here before? Nope, that looks like a bit of information we haven't gotten yet. Over there. Apollo update. Yeah, what happened to Apollo? From Samina Ebadji to Elizabeth Sobek. Over the past 2 months, the full benefit of our procurement of a copy of the Homer archive from Far Zenith has made itself known, and as a result, all of Apollo's key deliverables are on schedule. Apollo has already surpassed 40 million discrete data entries and continues to grow. The physical science modules are effectively complete, with soft science modules close behind. World history, cultural data, and media archives are also on schedule. Language preservation is wrapping up a bit ahead of schedule due to falling short of our goal to preserve 4,500 languages. I suppose the tragic early loss of Papua New Guinea doomed that goal from the outset, with attendant curricula development about to begin. I had wondered about that, actually. I had wondered, when I was thinking about, they went to all this trouble a while back, when I first started learning about all this. They went to all this trouble to preserve humanity and animal DNA and to, do all of that, or I had assumed they had done all of that. Now we know, but at the time I was speculating. But that they didn't do anything to preserve the knowledge, because the people living now, the Ostrom and the Nora and all of that, they don't seem to have a lot of knowledge about anything, and they don't know much about the old ones at all. And I had thought that was a really weird gap for the scientists of the past to leave, to rebuild all of this, but then not give humanity humanity 2.0 all of the knowledge that they had. I seemed really odd. There's one story about the founder of Meridian finding, I guess, a book or a textbook or some kind of information about some kind of science information about tracking the sun. And because he had that information, the Nora didn't like it, and he became an outcast, and he left. Well, I don't know if they outcast him or if he just left. But he's the one that traveled to what is now the Sundom and founded Meridian with that knowledge. So he had a small amount of knowledge. And obviously the Oseram seemed to be pretty handy at making weapons and doing smithing and things. Now, I don't know if that's something they just figured out on their own, or if somewhere along the line somebody in their culture found some piece of information somewhere in the world that was left behind for hundreds of years. But yeah, I had wondered about that. Like, what the heck happened to all the information? Why didn't they pass the information along to humanity? So now we know they intended to, but we still don't know exactly what happened to Apollo, why it's not there. Maybe Apollo became Hades. Maybe it just took all of that knowledge that it had and became an evil AI. I don't know. Let's see. Speaking of the heuristic curricula, they are performing well in testing, with children and adolescents demonstrating high levels of engagement with and trust in the Aristotle and Aspasia personae. Personally, I find them highly engaging, especially when they debate. I wish half my professors had been so entertaining. Peace be with you, Samina. Alright, well, something happened to Apollo. Encapsulated DNA. From Samina to Elizabeth. And the winner is Encapsulated DNA. Over the past 10 days, I performed an exhaustive review of data storage solutions. Magnetic, optical, quantum, even that eternity tech that FAS, that would be Faro Automated Solutions, was shilling a year or so ago, but every other solution has one or more fatal shortcomings. Too heavy to transport, too massive to install in the allotted space, too power intensive over the centuries, too prone to failure past 300 or 400 years, etc. Encapsulated DNA will easily hold the 40 plus zettabytes we're projecting for Apollo. There are still many details to finalize, of course. To start with, we need to select the inert material in which we'll embed the molecules, already testing 16 candidate materials, as well as design and fabricate the power systems and sealed reliquaries that will keep the DNA at negative 18 degrees Celsius for 1,000 years. So long as I assure you that it didn't factor in into my decision, may I confess that I deem it entirely fitting, indeed propitious, is that how you pronounce that word? Propitious? That we will be using the very building blocks of life to preserve human knowledge from mechanized extinction. It's not just ironic, but heroic. Life as the hero, beating back the forces of oblivion. In any case, much to do until next time. Peace be with you, Samina. So they were using a encapsulated DNA to hold all of the information, and it had to be at a particular temperature. So that sounds like there was some kind of maybe catastrophic failure, and the DNA was destroyed, the information was lost. Maybe we'll find out more about that. Hollow projector.
Welcome to Apollo, the collective memory of the human species and the wellspring of knowledge for future generations. I am Samina Ebadji. Until recently, I was director of the International Collective Memory Institute in New Tehran. As a heritage professional, I devoted my career to the preservation of human knowledge, creative endeavor, and cultural achievement. Apollo is, therefore, the ultimate embodiment of a lifelong passion, albeit under the very worst circumstances imaginable. The challenges before us are immense. Specifically, we will have to design and implement 4 major initiatives simultaneously. First, the construction of data repositories in cradle facilities around the world, ensuring redundancy. Second, the collection and processing of a projected 180 million discrete data entries. 42 zettabytes of data in Mandarin, English, Spanish, and Arabic. Third, the transferal and encoding of all that data onto DNA encapsulated in synthetic fossils. The only medium capacious and durable enough to safeguard it without degradation for the centuries to come. And last, but not least, the development of the holographic interface and gamified curricula, by which future humans will commune with Apollo, progressively unlocking heuristic learning modules, leveling up their knowledge and skills they will need to take control of the terraforming system. That is the future towards which all of our efforts will be directed. Not just the preservation of the past, but the seed for the flourishing of a new tree of knowledge. Welcome, and let us begin.
Is there any information in here? Are we gonna be able to get in there? I don't know if we can. Let's take a look at the map. Nope, I don't think we can get over there. It seems to be not a thing. There's stairs. Is this? What's this? Find the entrance to Sobek's office. Alright, are we gonna have to go through all these dudes? We have to cut through all these dudes? Probably. What's back here? Can we go through this door? Nope, not a thing. Oh, even more dudes. Alright, I think I'm gonna have to take care of all these dudes here. For sure. Yep. Alright. Let's put our gun down. Let's squat. Let's get our little fire wires out. Alright.
Luck's with me.
No, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Whoa.
See if anything is left.
Nope, only 5. Alright, let's drop it. Alright. No more dudes in here. There we go. 60 on that one. Let's trade up for a new one. Something's up there. I see a ladder.
All of this lost.
Ooh.
The ancient's greatest gift to us.
Greatest? How about the fact we exist at all?
To abide in ignorance is a curse, Aloy. You of all people should know that.
Why is that registering as the Apollo? That's a gun. Oh, this is it here. Apollo Archive. Okay. Can I interact with it? No? It just doesn't exist, huh? That's a bummer. Wonder what happened. Anything back here? I'm gonna put this down for a second and jump up here. Loot this guy. Grab this from my medicine pouch. Oh, here we go. A little bit of data. Let's see what we find.
Dr. Sobek, please archive this testimonial in Apollo. Cross-reference to all mentions of my name and Operation Enduring Victory. My name is General Aaron Harris. From 2060 to 2066, I served as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the highest-ranked officer of the United States Armed Forces. The tenure of my command included strategic planning and oversight of Operation Enduring Victory, a falsehood perpetrated on the civilian populations of the United States and other nations during the last 14 months of life on this planet. Before the Pharaoh Plague, I did my job and did it well. I was bold and decisive, crafty in political maneuvers. It wasn't an accident that I rose to my position and became the commander of the largest mechanized force ever assembled. But to what end? My only lasting achievement was the extinction of life on Earth. And my one redeeming act, if any, was to delay that extinction by days or weeks, by throwing more death at it. It is my hope that there will be no need for men like me in the world to come. If you are one of the people of that future world listening to this message, please know that I am sorry and that I wish you well. Sincerely, Aaron Harris.
Alright, so we're actually in the Apollo facility, I think, here, and all of this seems to have been destroyed. That is unfortunate. So they housed Apollo right here in the Horizon Zero Dawn facility, which is underneath Sunfall, which is the location of, I think they call it the Sun Ring, where the previous king before Avad was doing human sacrifice.
Welcome to Hades, Zero Dawn's extinction failsafe protocol. The ultimate killer app.
Uh-oh.
Now, I know what you're thinking. The purpose of Gaia is to resurrect life. So why give her a subordinate function, only purpose of which is to wipe out life all over again? I mean, what?
Yeah,
Just
explain that,
crazy, ain't
surfer
it?
dude.
Well, no, it isn't. Reconstituting a biosphere? That's a tall order. Tech smart as Gaia may be, odds are she won't get it right the first time. I mean, imagine you're Gaia, 200 years from now, and this new biosphere growing, it's all gone wrong. Alkalines are skyrocketing, coniferous forests eroding under the lash of superstorms that would have drowned Noah. It's chaos. A spinning top that won't stop wobbling. Now what are you gonna do? Release phase 1 organisms into that hot mess? Hope their CO2 and methane can balance out what you got started? Hell no. What you're gonna do, Gaia, is step aside while Hades takes over and does what you're just too darn nurturing and life-loving to do, which is burn that misbegotten mess of a biosphere to the ground so Gaia can start over. Okay, not burn, more like reverse terraforming operations and suffocate it. But you get the idea. Hades takes the biosphere back to zero. Square one, blank slate. And then, only then, does it hand the steering wheel back to Gaia and say, try again, old girl. And better this time, or we'll have to do this again. That's Hades. It's pretty badass when you think about it. Extinction on demand. Death on speed dial. All for the greater good, of course, but still, kind of metal. So welcome to Hades. Welcome to the void.
Okay, so if that's the original purpose of Hades, why does it want me extinct?
We need more data.
And how does it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh Titan, getting worshipped by the Eclipse like some kind of god?
I'm learning as you are, Aloy. Keep searching.
Alright, so that wasn't a surfer dude. He looked like a surfer dude, but we had heard his voice before. He was the guy, I think, who said he didn't mind spending the rest of his life watching porn in Elysium. So he worked on Hades, huh? I don't know about that. So Hades is like, what, a kill switch? So if Gaia is trying to re-terraform and things aren't working out, then Hades wipes the slate clean and Gaia can start over again. So... that's interesting. And Hades somehow has found itself inside of, like she said, one of those giant tentacled robot things and being worshipped by the Eclipse. Okay. So that's where we're at. That's what we know. Noise complaints. From Travis to Elizabeth Sebek. Color me confounded, Lizzie. Bashcore. Anyone who says the old TT codes to Bashcore is straight up lying. Oh, TT, he must be talking to himself. He's referring to himself in the first person, I see. Or third person. Travis Tate. And you know it. Old Trav don't have no truck with commercialized razzle dazz nuh-uh. Heck, I'd rather guzzle a liter of Ciderum runoff than listen to Grey Swarm for 30 seconds. Hand to God and swear on my mama's grave and she was religious. Nah, that ain't Bashcore blasting the Hades lab, shaking the walls, rattling folks' teeth. It's death metal, girl, classic music, 80s and 90s mostly. Got me some Dutch deathcore, some Japanese gore grind, some Swedish cannibal-themed stuff too. Stop by if you want a listen, or heck, just come within 50 meters of the lab. Ain't no Bashcore. You'll see, or hear rather, in the screech that rends the air, and feel in the throbbing pulse of the floor and walls and ceiling, swallowing you up like you was Jonah trapped in the gullet of gothic deathfish. Hallelujah. Okay. As for those requests to turn it down, no can do, Lizzie. This is how I code. To turn down my death metal, might as well give up stimulants, chocolate malts, and industrial accident vids. Last I heard, we was supposed to be coding Hades down here. Am I really supposed to code an extinction protocol without death metal to inspire me? Nah, I don't think so. Stay cool, Trav. Okay. Well, he seemed like the most dodgy of all the people that we'd heard from as we were passing through this facility, and he's the one they put in charge of the extinction protocol. This seems like it's going to go horribly wrong, and as we know, it has. That's still kind of the point of the game, isn't it? Hades protocol. Sure, Tate here. Just popped 3 blues, but I earned it. Finally figured out a Goldilocks solution to Gaia's rather extreme executive authority. If that ain't worth 10 to 12 hours of dream time, what is? Before this, every usurpation protocol I designed failed in simulation because it was either too hard or too soft. Too hard and it degraded the Gaia core. Sure, it pried her figurative fingers off the figurative driving wheel so Hades could take control, but by breaking her fingers, sometimes her arms too, so that couldn't fly. Everything depends on Gaia taking control back after Hades has done its business. So had to find a solution that didn't leave Gaia any worse for the wear. Too soft, and Gaia only pretended to relinquish control. In simulation after simulation, Hades would take command of the terraforming system and reverse operations, only to have Gaia lurk in the background, quietly reversing processes and falsifying telemetry to hide its interface. Sneaky, I swear. Ain't nothing Gaia wouldn't do to keep life going, even when it's just simulated plant life. Turns out the just right solution is to isolate Gaia in a protective code shell, preserving its integrity, then unseat it from command position so Hades can slip into the figurative captain's chair and work its magic. Those blues are coming on strong now, so I'm not really describing it so clear, but pretty sure it'll work. Yeah, those blues are plenty strong. Guess it's time to sleep and bed. I'll back to it tomorrow, alligators. So he was popping some pills to sleep. Okay. So he was the one responsible for coming up with some kind of programming solution that would allow Hades to take over from Gaia, and then Gaia could take back over again from Hades. I don't know if I'm getting all this, but whatever. Maybe the game will explain to us exactly what we need to know. We'll just keep on going. Archive abuse. From Samina Ebadji to Travis Tate, and CCing Elizabeth Sobek. Mr. Tate, this mail concerns Apollo archive submission, yada yada yada. Your 666th submission in just 5 days, and what a doozy. Despite earlier warnings regarding inappropriate materials, you chose to submit 265 holographic remasters of acknowledged classics of extreme exploitation cinema. Allow me then to thank you on 2 counts. 1, for giving me the pleasure of rejecting your submission, thereby consigning your favorite Eastern European torture flicks and their ilk to the dust heap of oblivion. It truly warms my heart to know that I have saved future humanity from the ordeal of experiencing not just one, but all 16 installments of Making a Millipede. Don't worry, the Pasolini material has already been preserved, extreme perhaps, but art. For clarifying a concept that has so long been ambiguous and ethically fraught for archivists such as myself, the definition of obscenity. You have freed me from the subjective quagmire embodied in Judge Potter's famous utterance, I know it when I see it. Thanks to you, I can now apply a single objective criterion. If Travis Tate submitted it, it's obscene. Accordingly, I have directed Apollo staff to summarily reject all of your future submissions sight unseen. Perhaps you might invest the time you would have spent preparing further submissions on, oh, I don't know, your assigned work. We have a world to save after all, or the rest of us do anyway. Dr. Samina Ebadji. Okay, so Travis is the fly in the ointment here. Maybe he programmed Hades to take it all down. He was saying earlier something about how it was unnatural to rebuild humanity and rebuild the world, that extinction was like, you know, God's plan or something. Holo projector. Is this where we came in? I think it is. Yeah, this is our...
Welcome to Hades.
There he is.
Zero Dawn's extinction failsafe protocol.
Okay.
The ultimate killer app. Now, I know what you're thinking. The purpose of Gaia is to resurrect life. So why give her a subordinate function, only purpose of which is to wipe out life all over again? I mean...
Oh, we can't take our gun with us. Looky there. Oh, no, maybe we can.
Looks like the only way onwards.
Okay, holo projector down here. This looks like a place we're gonna have to fight some dudes, I think. Could be wrong, but it just looks, has that feel to it. Like they're gonna come running down these stairs and through. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Let me drop this gun and have a look around this room. Before I start pushing any buttons. Up there. Okay. Alright, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we won't have to fight anything in here.
Welcome to Eleuthia, the crown and king of Gaia's subordinate functions. For it is by Eleuthia that the human race will continue to exist. I am Patrick Brochard-Klein, the Alpha in charge of this program. Now let one thing be perfectly clear from the outset. Eleuthia is not a genetic engineering project. Our goal is to preserve the human genome, not alter it. A snapshot of human genetic diversity, literally frozen in time. The genetic quintessence of our species, unmodified. Under my watch, our activities and initiatives will comply with the 2034 clone provisions and the 2048 Rally Accords. Now that may seem a quaint, even trivial concern to you in light of present circumstances, but as one of the authors of the Accords, it is far from trivial to me. The practical challenges before us are staggering in scope and complexity, but not insurmountable. No. Global collation and provisional storage of zygotes, perfection of exogenic technologies, design and perfection of servitors, to provide nurture and inculcation during early child development. All of these program components must and will proceed in tandem. To say nothing of the breakneck construction of cradle facilities at sites around the world. So, si vous êtes prêts, let us begin.
Cradle facilities around the world. So I was talking earlier about, I was speculating that they used technology from the Odyssey, I think it was called the Odyssey program, to preserve embryos and then basically hatch, I guess, for lack of a better word, gestate a new human species as well as animals. As we know, we have turkeys and boars and raccoons and fish and all of that. So these cradle facilities, I thought they would be in outer space and come back to the planet when the planet was habitable, but it sounds like he's talking about cradles being built in the Earth, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because wouldn't the robots sense that there was... I don't know, would they sense genetic material? Would they sense embryos as potential food source and go after them? I guess not. Okay, maybe. FZ Chambers. I mean, they're supposedly building some kind of place called Elysium where people are going to live out their lives for up to 100 years. Is that going to be in outer space or on Earth? I think they were talking about it being enclosed. So I'm not sure whether that means enclosed underground or enclosed up in outer space. If they, like I said earlier, if they could build one of those, why not build a bunch of those? And if they're going to bury them under the ground here, wouldn't the machines get to them? I don't know. I'm not understanding a lot of this, but I guess it doesn't matter. We don't need to understand. Let's see. From Patrick Brochard-Klein to Elizabeth Sobek. The ectogenic chambers arrived 2 days ago. I've spent the last 36 hours examining them and poring over technical documentation. They're a revelation, astonishing. I don't know what you had to give Far Zenith in trade to get these chambers, but it was worth it. In a single leap, their embryologists have vaulted past 50 years of technological shortcomings. The risks of ECMO resolved. Nutrition delivery resolved. Hormonal stability resolved. 12 other risk areas resolved. Well, how fortunate. Before I examined these chambers, I considered the Odyssey to be a fool's errand. Yeah, it is the Odyssey. Right, that's what I was saying. Okay, that's what the name of the project is, right. But if the rest of FZ's technology, Far Zenith, okay, is at this level, well, a human colony around Sirius doesn't seem so impossible after all. Mass fabrication of the chambers will present a number of challenges, but I'm confident they can be resolved. I'm going to rest for a few hours, then get back to it. Expect a fabrication plan within 48 hours, PBK. Alright. I had kind of wondered, I think I may have speculated several episodes ago, if Aloy was a clone of Elizabeth Sobek that was created. Back in the Nora lands, there's Mother Mountain or Mother's Heart Mountain or whatever they call it, that I was saying we couldn't get into before. And I can't remember what they're called, the wise women of the Nora tribe, they were saying that they found Aloy as a baby outside the door of this place in Mother Mountain. They didn't know what it was. They don't know what the door leads to. They've never been beyond it. But that's where they found Aloy, and that's why she was known as the motherless girl, because nobody knew where she came from. She just showed up. So I think this kind of explains what happened there. I'm assuming that there's a cradle inside Mother Mountain, Mother's Heart or whatever they're calling it, and that Aloy was gestated in one of these chambers as a clone of Elizabeth Sobek, and then somehow placed outside the doors, left on the doorstep. Like Harry Potter left on the doorstep of his relative's house in a little basket, baby in a basket. And she was raised, well, not raised by the Nora, she was an outcast, but she was raised by Rost, who was one of the Nora, also an outcast. So I'm thinking this is kind of explaining where Aloy comes from and why she resembles Elizabeth Sobek, why she has Elizabeth Sobek's DNA. Cradle Servitor Personae. From Patrick Brochard-Klein. Development of the artificial personae for Cradle Servitors, Nurturer, Disciplinarian, Healer continues at a good pace. We are targeting Turing 0.4 for these constructs. This should allow low-grade empathy and limited improvisation without undermining adherence to codified behavior sets. The stimulus-driven switching of personae, however, is proving to be a greater software challenge than anticipated, especially concerning our entrenched feedback loops between the disciplinarian and healer personae. I have also attached the reports from an incident where a servitor running the mother personae intervened on a disciplinarian servitor's behavior. A parental argument, if you will, amusing on first glance perhaps, but deeply concerning. I have attached a comprehensive plan for correcting these interactive protocol shortcomings in just... blah, blah, blah. Okay. Is this one of the little cradles here?
Are these... what I think they are?
Ectogenic
Artificial
chamber.
worms. Machines to spawn a new generation of human beings.
Ah, okay. Cradle sealed. So not just Aloy, of course. All of the humans, I'm assuming, that now exist on planet Earth are descendants of humans that came out of these cradles at some point in the past. Aletheia 01 was successfully sealed before the swarm advancing across Xinjiang province could detect it. Pingback from crucial systems is good. For our maiden voyage, a success. Regards my disputes with the betas over zygote selection. Of course, I understand we have limited overhead to run simulations of gene flow in our future humans, but we can all agree there is margin for refinement in future cradle populations. In addition to personally overseeing completion of the Aletheia 02 site inside Mount Namuli, I will formulate and repurpose a modified zygote selection plan within the week. Okay. So they're picking which human DNA they're going to put in these cradles and how it's going to be, I guess, how it's going to be used. How they're going to make people. Alright, this is where we came in. I think we've looked at all this. I don't think there's anything else we can do down here except go up the stairs. There's the stairs.
Cradle facilities. Elizabeth said a new generation of humans would be spawned inside such places.
She did.
Oh, Mother Mountain. It was one of them?
There's only one way to be sure.
That's what I was saying.
The hatch wouldn't open. Something about a corrupted Alpha Registry. I need to search Elizabeth's office.
Well, that's what we're trying to get to. Oh, and I'm gonna have to leave my gun. Because we're gonna have to climb. Is that her office?
Pure logic won't cut it, Ted. To pull this off, Gaia's going to need to have some skin in the game. It has to care.
What if it runs amok? Have we learned nothing from our mistakes?
Your mistakes, I think you mean?
All I'm saying is give it a kill switch.
She was just born, Ted. I'm not gonna put a gun to her head while she's still in the cradle.
You talk like it's a child. What if it becomes a monster?
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
Of course, Gaia, go on.
I'm sorry to contradict you, but Mr. Farrow's argument is sound. At this point, the development of my psyche is not entirely predictable. To ensure preservation of life, a hardwired override is, I believe, a necessary safeguard.
There. Satisfied, Ted?
Jeez, Liz, just do what it says.
Would benefit from antilopine morphologies, though Caprid forms show superior load-bearing capability.
You're a quick study, Gaia.
Dr. Sobek, as I have conducted this comparative analysis of mammalian morphologies, I've gathered extensive data on the quaternary extinction event.
Oh? And your assessment? Gaia?
Logically speaking, the extinction was a natural consequence.
And yet,
I find the loss of megafaunal species unaccountably sad. That they passed forever into oblivion causes me to experience a grief that is difficult to describe. Am I malfunctioning?
No, Gaia, you're not. This is good. It's very good.
Okay. There's another bit of information here.
You will undergo a brief period of unconsciousness during relocation to Prime and final instatement.
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
When you're back up and running at the new site, we'll bring the subordinate functions online and see where we stand.
Elizabeth, I detect distress. Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I realize that circumstances compel us to launch earlier than we hoped. But all subsystems are operational. The odds stand in our favor.
But what if... Gaia, there's nothing left out there. You can't even survive unless you're wearing an environmental suit. There are billions dead, in fear and agony. What if it was all for nothing?
Elizabeth, extinction was inevitable. Thanks to you, life will have a future.
You really believe that?
I believe in you, Elizabeth. In you, all things.
Okay. Let's see if we can get into the office. How do I get in here? Is this the door? Pry open door. Examine Elizabeth Sobek's terminal. Odyssey has failed. To all Alphas, some terrible news, I'm afraid. Far Zenith has informed me that the Odyssey mission has failed. Last night, telemetry indicated a catastrophic antimatter containment failure as the drives spun up to depart the solar system. The ship, its crew, its cargo of zygotes and seeds, its alpha build of Apollo, all were lost. Zero Dawn is now the only hope for the continuation of the human species and earthly life. We must succeed. Ah, okay. So they did try to build up some spaceships and send life out into the universe. I guess sending it to the moon or Mars or something was out of the question. They were going to send it out of the solar system, but it didn't work out. I don't like having exclamation points. Let's get rid of all those. Okay. What's over here? Check this out. Artemis status. From Charles Ronson. It's coming along, Liz. I'm positive about it. If those words can still mean anything, had my sleeves rolled up negotiating with frozen zoos for their samples. So many species trapped in ghoulish hologram dioramas, suspended in what-ifs. More than 14,000 that went extinct between 2000 and 2043. We've started mapping out primary succession, selecting the pioneer organisms for a balanced and sustainable biosphere. Microorganisms and insects, rabbits and hawks, foxes and wolves. Thousands more that will have to wait their turn until our new generation can be entrusted with the duty of restoring them so they can return to a world that this time will understand the concept of conservation before it's too late. There's already been too many too lates. We lost a whole collection team during the swarm breakthrough in Myanmar. The samples we lost were, well, irreplaceable. But thanks to you, Liz, the circle of life will bend, not break. The Earth was a lifeless rock before, and someday it will be again, but not now. Not like this. Not on our watch. Ronson. Alright, so this is a little in-game explanation as to why there's such a narrow number of things to hunt, I guess. Okay. Just making sure I've looked at everything in this room first, and then I will look at the terminal here. Access.
The Alpha Registry master file.
Intact?
Yeah. No signs of corruption.
How does she know
what
that?
are you waiting for? Copy the file.
How does she know how to do that?
I can restore the registry at the hatch inside Allmother. Open it. Go inside.
And grasp the secrets within.
Where I was born. Maybe who gave birth to me.
Who? Are you really so naive? There will be no who waiting for you there, Aloy. Whatever birthed you into the world was a what, not a who.
You bastard.
Oh no, I had a legitimate birth. It's you, Aloy, who are the creation of a machine.
Yeah, saw that coming.
But what kind of machine and why? Why were you created?
Yeah, that's a good question. Oh.
Eclipse.
You need to get out of there. What you found is too valuable. You're too valuable.
Uh-oh. Hey, how you doing? Oh no! Why do evil dudes have to be so hot?
Good. I have a more suitable death in mind for you, child.
Well, that was Helis. Well.
My entire life, I've always known one thing with prophetic certainty. That I was destined for glory as a great champion of the sun.
Oop, game saving.
Even when Jiran was murdered. Even when Meridian fell, I never doubted my destiny. Until you came along. When I heard that you had survived, a doubt took root in my mind. As sure as the sun rises and falls each day, those I am bade to kill die. And yet I failed. How? Why? With each dig site you attacked, each loyal soldier you killed, this pestering doubt grew. It grew when High Priest Bahavas went missing.
Oh, something happened there. I don't know what happened there. I didn't see it.
It not only grew, but multiplied.
Did I level up?
I kept thinking.
Did I get a new quest? What happened there?
Pierced your throat. One twist, a simple tug of the blade, and you would have bled out. In slaughter, I am a practiced hand. So why hesitate? Why fail my destined purpose?
See that scar on your cheek? You didn't get to finish.
Yes, I remember. He fought well. For a savage.
His name was Rost, and he was a better man than you could ever hope to be.
The better man is the one who doesn't end up with his guts steaming on the ground. No, it wasn't him. I could have finished you before he attacked, but I didn't. This failing troubled my thoughts, haunted every step. It was only when I captured you, down in that place, that I finally glimpsed the sun's design etched at length across the course of events. You were meant to survive that day on the mountain. Meant to interfere at dig sites and kill my men. Meant to eliminate High Priest Bahavas. Meant to snatch Itamen away. Conversely, I was meant to capture you. Here. So that you might die as a sacrificial offering to the sun. Everything as it was meant to be. Predestined and preordained.
He's monologuing. You're a thug, you're a fool, you're a puppet. You're a puppet, dude.
Some destiny. You're following orders, not some grand cosmic design. You're a puppet, with Hades yanking the strings. A pawn pushed around by larger forces. It'd be laughable if there weren't so much killing involved. Hades is an ancient machine, not the buried shadow of Karja myth. It doesn't care about Meridian. It wants to kill everything and everyone. And you are its dutiful slave.
I serve not the buried shadow, but the sun in shadow. All halves of nature joined to one cause. Shadow to sun, dark to light.
Do you really not hear how ridiculous that sounds? You've gone from serving an insane homicidal Sun King to an insane homicidal machine. You're moving down in the world, not up.
I'll remember those words as I watch your corpse burn. Whatever's left of it. You fail to grasp the point. As surely as you've been conquered, so has all doubt. And with certainty of belief comes unstoppable force.
Then open this cage and put your faith to the test. See if things work out like you expect.
The circle has closed. Every element is in its proper place, exactly where it belongs. The errant beast, now caged, will serve her true purpose. A sacrificial animal. Oh,
all right.
Speaking of sacrifice,
get on with it.
I forgot to tell you. After you crashed the Eclipse network, I sent messengers into the east to rally the forces there and mount an invasion of the sacred land.
You turned your battle station on Alderaan?
I wanted every Nora killed. I was hoping to catch you there, but alas, it all seems to have been unnecessary.
Why butcher dozens of innocents for no gain? It's a waste of effort.
You're right. I won't even be there to enjoy it. In any case, I couldn't recall the order even if I wished to. Thanks to your destruction of the network, communication over distances is impossible. You not only doomed yourself, but an entire tribe.
Oh, stop. Don't pin this on me.
Do we not see the scorching judgment of the sun in these events?
No, I see your scorching stupidity.
Your focus. Such a powerful device, isn't it?
Cruelty.
And yet, so fragile.
Whoa, dude. What was that? Stop, you perv.
So you see, this time, I did not hesitate. The knife has already been twisted.
No. I don't think so. You gonna drop me in a tank full of sharks with frickin' laser beams?
Karja faithful, rejoice! Our years in shadow are over. A new dawn trembles on the horizon. A new day soon to break.
A new Horizon Zero Dawn?
Does, the false Sun King will be dead, and Holy Meridian ours once more. In this, I have become an instrument of prophecy. All halves of nature join to one cause. Shadow to sun, light to dark, night to day.
Dogs and cats
Behold!
living together.
Hold your seats! Can you not see the proof of the sun's blessing before your eyes? How else could shadows such as these prowl in broad light of day? Were they not approved by the sun and joined to our cause? Many years ago, to consecrate this great ring, the Radiant Turan ordered many faithless, crushed beneath the hooves of the behemoth. Mighty is the behemoth in the eyes of the sun, but it is mightier still, infused with the power of shadow. Let this one, who schemed and slithered, be the first to die. Let her be the first of thousands!
Maybe I could use the strength against it. I wasn't built to take a behemoth's charge either.
Menu is not available right now. Well. Whew, I have to pause it there because you know what? I have got to go. We're going to be leaving it on quite a cliffhanger. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm assuming that when I saw the little circle in the bottom right corner, it was saving. So hopefully it will have saved all that quest that I just did. It's not letting me go straight to the menu, but I mean, for real, you guys, I've been streaming for like, what now? About 3 hours or something? I can't imagine the game's going to expect people to play for like 5 hours straight. So I'm hoping it'll have saved at some point. Let me hop over and take a look here. Yep, for 3 hours. So I really need to go. I've got some things I need to do tonight. Can't be streaming for any longer. Yeah, Barbarian King says, ooh, great timing. Well, unfortunately, yeah, I have to go. So we're going to hope that the game saves and I haven't lost too much because I don't see a save file around here. It's not letting me go to map. And I'm pretty sure it auto-saves. It auto-saves here. like I said, I saw a little circle spinning in the bottom corner at one point, so we may have to listen to this guy do his monologue all over again in the next episode, but that's fine. And then Aloy's going to have to figure out how to get out of this one. Oh my gosh. Hi, Stella says, oh dear. Barbarian King saying, good night, everyone. Let's see what happens if she dies. It'll probably start me over. We'll let her die. And then I'm just going to stand in the corruption and we'll see where it reloads from. Yep, there we go. Now let's see where it reloads me. Hopefully I will be able to quit and reload from the autosave and come back to this tomorrow. If you guys are enjoying yourselves, please leave a like. Yeah, it starts us over at the beginning of the battle. Subscribe, tell your friends, and join me for the next exciting episodes. We find out what happens to Aloy. Hopefully that will be tomorrow. I make no promises because, as most of you know, if you've watched me regularly, there's a lot going on in my life. My husband had surgery recently, and I may or may not be able to stream tomorrow, but I'm going to try. And if I do, it may be a little earlier than usual. I might try for 2 in the afternoon Eastern time. So that if it takes a while, I'll have a little bit of time before the evening. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But you can find me at patreon.com/JewelSmith for updates. And also, if you want to check out my Twitter page, just look for JewelSmith on Twitter. And I will tweet when I am going to be streaming, give you the heads up. And, of course, I think YouTube, well, their notifications are sketchy at best. Some of you have told me you don't get them, or you get them once in a while, but not always, or you get them hours late or whatever. So you may not want to rely on that if you want to find out what happens. But, of course, YouTube also saves an archive of my live streams. So anything you missed, you can go back and watch on my YouTube channel. It does take YouTube several hours usually to save an archive of the full live stream. So like right now you might be able to go back and watch the past 2 hours, but you won't be able to watch the full 3 hours until YouTube processes the video, and that can take some time. So you might want to check back tomorrow if you missed anything in this live stream. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much. Do take care of yourselves. Until next time.